Boston Globe it was opening a civil investigation and was in touch with Facebook. On Friday, Facebook said it was suspending the data firm because it violated the social media platform's policies. Paul Grewal, Facebook's vice president and deputy general counsel, said in a statement, University of Cambridge psychology professor Alexander Kogan had provided Facebook user data through an app to third parties, including Cambridge Analytica. Facebook said that was a breach of the social media site's policy to protect people's information. Cambridge Analytica told Facebook the data was destroyed, but the social media giant said in a statement it recently received reports that that was not the case. In the summer of 2016, Trump's campaign hired Cambridge Analytica. Facebook says it has been working over the past few years to improve safety of Facebook users' data.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports the Pregnancy Care Clinic in the Southern California city of El Cajon offers a host of services for pregnant women, including ultrasound exams, prenatal vitamins, and maternity clothes. There is one exception: abortion. Now, the clinic, which staunchly opposes abortion, is among a group of Christian-based facilities known as crisis pregnancy centers involved in a major case that goes before the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday. They are challenging a California law that forces centers that are licensed as family planning centers to post notices that the state has programs offering free or low-cost birth control and abortion services, a requirement they argue violates their free speech rights under the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. Pregnancy Care Clinic Executive Director Josh McClure compared California's law to forcing the American Lung Association to tell people where they can buy cigarettes. The centers say they offer legitimate services and that their mission is to persuade women to forego abortion. The case is one of several the U.S. Supreme Court is tackling during its current term, in which conservative legal groups are invoking the First Amendment and asserting that governments are unconstitutionally compelling people to do or say things they oppose. Similar cases this term involve plaintiffs who argue that the First Amendment protects them from having to make a wedding cake for a gay couple or to pay fees to unions representing public employees to fund collective bargaining. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Retail giant CVS is gearing up for floods of customers seeking the perfect meaningless piece of crap for their office gift swap. The company is making no secret that when it comes to wasting the obligatory $20 on a useless electronic dartboard or pretzel maker for someone you couldn't care less about, CVS is your best option.
Our incredible selection of worthless is just the thing that nobody wants. We guarantee you'll find nothing personal or unique in our store.
The company is offering massive discounts on otherwise unsellable items for holiday parties you don't even want to go to, like the $12 decorative lantern, which is expected to be a big hit with customers who grab the first thing they see when they walk in the store.
I really wanted to get something that said, I don't care about any of you people and I didn't put any effort into this.
CVS also has Hanukkah gifts for coworkers who you think might be Jewish, like candles and those little plastic net bags full of chocolate money.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in line here momentarily, where you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Daryl.
And Johnny Ray.
And Johnny, you want to go to Russia.
I do.
At least with the news here. You had mentioned that, well, you didn't mention this, but apparently the Russian presidential election was today, and Edward Snowden had a few things to say about the Russian presidential election. What's the story here? Where's it coming from?
The Washington Examiner.
All right.
Josh Siegel. Former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden Sunday criticized the integrity of Russia's presidential election just before exit polls showed President Vladimir Putin had easily won a fourth term in office. Quote, the ballot stuffing seen today in Moscow and elsewhere in the Russian election is an effort to steal the influence of 140-plus million people, Snowden said in a tweet.
The tweet continued, demand just... Oh, were you about to finish reading?
Yes,
okay.
Demand justice. Demand laws and courts that matter. Take your future back.
Yeah, so, he seems to be saying, hey... Looks like there was some irregularities, and it links to a YouTube video with a Russian title. My guess is the speaking in the video is also going to be Russian, so not something that we can necessarily play on the air. But one thing that I thought was interesting is some of the responses to his tweet. I don't know if the article that you have covers any of those.
It does not.
Yeah, so there was somebody by the name of JJ Ball, whose Twitter handle is my bag of BS, spelled out, can't say it on the radio. She says, your tweet is super suspicious considering you've been protected by Putin. What gives, Snowden? Why are you going against your handler? Is this to deflect attention away from real Donald Trump? Something isn't adding up here.
No, that's kind of the opposite of suspicious. If Snowden had been saying this election is clean and you critics are full of it, that would be suspicious. But since he's kind of biting the hand that feeds him, that speaks to his integrity.
Right, and the one thing that's interesting, the people like this woman that want to wind up saying, see, Edward Snowden's in Russia. That proves that he's a Russian spy. They totally ignore the fact that the only reason he is in Russia is because the United States government revoked his passport while he was trying to fly to Ecuador.
Mm-hmm.
He's only in Russia because the United States forced him to remain in Russia.
I'm a total shill for the Russians. I have been for a while now, but lately all the news coming out has really kind of been changing my opinion a little bit with the nerve agent in Salisbury, England, and now this. I'm kind of down on Putin. The article says that Putin is already Russia's longest-serving leader since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. That's disquieting.
Yes, it is. And we're joined in studio now by Will Coley. Will, thank you for making it in.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
Did you forget that daylight shifting happened a week ago?
No. I thought you were going to grab me on your way through, so I sat and continued to eat.
Yeah, and then there was miscommunication on that, and I lost, I don't know what was happening with my phone where it just totally, not going to connect to anything, so I had to reboot it. No. To make
if I'm not mistaken,
crypto
as far
transaction.
As the story that we're talking about here, didn't during the 2016 campaign somewhere somebody asked Trump about Snowden and Trump was like, "Oh no, we should kill that guy."
Yeah.
So why would he be trying to deflect? Why would you be working for someone who's openly stated no, if I get my hands on you, I want you dead?
Yeah, none of the criticisms of Snowden make any sense because they all rely on. How's the best way to say this? Playing fast and loose with the facts?
No.
So, Snowden, you're in Russia, therefore you're a Russian spy. Snowden, you said something bad about Russia. That means you're working for Donald Trump.
Oh, you don't like Hillary. That means you support Trump. That kind of just if you don't believe exactly the way that I do, then that
if
means
not
you
X,
the
then Y.
Yeah.
Well, no, there are 25 other letters that it could be. That's just using the English alphabet, not to mention all the letters in the Greek alphabet, all the letters in the Cyrillic alphabet, the Arabic alphabet. There are a bunch of other letters other than X and Y.
Right. But we're in this duopoly mindset, though.
If you don't like Coke, then you must like Pepsi.
Exactly.
Well, no, there's RC Cola, and then there's the Walmart brand, and then just I don't drink cola.
Red licorice or black licorice?
Mike or Ike.
Yep.
Good or plenty.
It's the binary mindset of humanity, I believe. I think it's just a part of us as bipedal thinking, breathing, sometimes Homo sapiens, that live on two legs and have functional brains, we see the world. We try to, because it's easier for us to understand the world in this is black, this is white. The gray area I don't want to talk about because it makes me feel uncomfortable because I don't know what is and is not. I'm schedules. We like time frames. We like solid structure. So, and I think that's why this whole binary thing keeps popping up.
But it seems to me that the binary thing really only happens in the United States because of two-party system. Whereas when you look at all of these other countries that have, these parliamentary systems where they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or more political parties that wind up being represented in their parliament, people wind up realizing that there are more than just two choices.
I'm going to have to say no, because even with the 50 million different parties that you had to choose from, when it came to Brexit, your choices were stay or go. When you have like the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, you either support a solution where both sides get to be acknowledged as human beings, or you don't. I mean, like there really is no gray area in a lot of these in these places. Just like there's not a whole lot of gray area here. Even though there are a dozen parties in both places, you still have that binary mindset. Either you either love immigrants or you hate your native culture. It's happening in Germany. It's happening all across the Netherlands. That same binary viewpoint, worldview it's like it's spreading like wildfire all over the world right now.
And how much of that do you think is pushed by American foreign policy? Because I know a lot of the Arab-Israeli stuff as of late, it's pushed because of U.S. foreign policy of we don't support a two-state solution or three-state or whatever other proposal. Nope, this is that, and that's the reason because America.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I thought that the two-party system was just fine because I kind of thought good, evil. I was sort of an American exceptionalist Republican type back then, but now I still have a binary view of politics. But now the way I look at it is freedom versus power,
right?
And every political party is part of the power party, and they're just engaged in kind of a sectarian struggle with each other over the church of the U.S. government.
Yeah, pretty much. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Any more on this Snowden Russia thing?
No, it's a short article, and I'm pretty uninformed about it. I'm just coming to it now. Independent election observers, this is according to the article, independent election observers and activists have alleged numerous incidents of ballot stuffing and other irregularities in Sunday's vote. The non-governmental election monitoring group GOLO has flagged at least 2,000 incidents, including observers being prevented from monitoring voting locations.
And Snowden further tweeted, "My friends tell me it's dangerous to criticize the Russian government the same as I criticize my own, but each of us are given a limited number of days to make a difference. Life is a choice to live for something or die for nothing." Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's Daryl, Johnny, and Will in studio tonight. And we started off talking about Edward Snowden, specifically something that he tweeted out earlier today, talking about possible voter corruption, voter fraud in Russia in that election. And, well, we know about Edward Snowden because, holy cow, it's been almost 5 years since he wound up releasing information about all kinds of horrible things that the federal government was doing with your data. Wouldn't it be nice if you could securely store some data? Well, what if there was something where you could not only securely store but also securely transmit data and also value and communications? Well, there is Zencash. It's an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. So, Will Coley, you've got a story about some kind of horrible thing that happened in Arizona recently?
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up for no other reason than to, I know this sounds funny, but to defend Trump. As much as I hate Trump, the stories I'm seeing, I'm seeing.
Hold on, I'm still trying to wrap my head around Will Coley is going to defend Donald Trump.
Well, I think that for me, conversations need to be had in the realms of reality if we're actually going to move forward on any of these issues that we face as a country. And when I saw this story being shared when it first came out a couple days ago, it was always shared in the context of, this is Donald Trump's America. This is what Donald Trump has created in America. And the truth of the matter is no, it's not, Like, I leaked a video almost exactly like this from University of Central Florida in 2010. Like 8 years ago, we saw people doing these kinds of things. Even worse, this is about, there's two women, they're facing burglary charges in Tempe. Basically what they did was they took their children with them and live streamed themselves, going onto private property, crossing the no trespassing sign, and then ripping the banners and things off of the community billboards and stuff like that, and taking things. And yeah, there may have been some things that were out there that were for free for people to take, but not for you to come in and say, oh, look at these are air fresheners because it smells like goats because they sleep with goats here. They rape goats. And then the little girl goes, they rape chickens, Mommy. And the mommy's like, that's right, honey, good job.
Hold on. So what property did they trespass on?
The mosque has a no trespassing sign.
You didn't mention mosque.
Property. Sorry, yeah.
On the air.
Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
I thought I started with that, but yeah, my bad.
No, you said in Tempe some people trespassed onto some property.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's a mosque. Big mosque in Tempe, Arizona. Says basically they live streamed the whole thing on Facebook. They were very congratulatory to their children. Anytime they would say something, there was a funeral van that they made some commentary about. They had their animals urinate on the grounds, stuff like that. And then they harassed people at the property. People were coming out. I guess there's maybe a school there as well.
Okay.
People were coming out to see, like, hey, there's these two women screaming obscenities on our property. Let's go see what is happening.
Right.
And then they were verbally accosted by these women, and they were really proud of it. But this isn't Trump. This isn't Trump's America, quote unquote. This has nothing to do with Trump. I myself helped leak a video to the media in 2010 where you had people just like this of the Patriot movement, because these two women are associated with the PMAZ, Patriot Movement of Arizona. They're listed as members, even though, of course, they've tried to disassociate themselves publicly from them now.
The PMAZ has tried to disassociate from these women?
These women, yeah.
Or the women have tried to disassociate from the group?
The PMAZ has tried to disassociate themselves from these women now. But I saw people that were associated with the Patriot Movement in Florida who were openly bragging on camera, video they put online of going to local mosques, stealing Qur'ans and taking them home to use for toilet paper, urinating in face washing sinks, and encouraging students there to do the same. Again, this is 8 years ago. This is 3 years before anyone thought Trump might think about being in politics.
Actually, it was about 10 years after Trump initially ran for president, but then dropped out 2 months later.
Yeah, he was a Democrat, though.
No, he was seeking the Reform Party nomination briefly in 2000. He has totally seemed to have forgotten that because he made that tweet of, I ran for president once and got elected. No, you ran for president twice. You dropped out the first time.
Right.
But I'm wondering how much of this is just sort of a continuation of some of the anti-Obama stuff that started back in 2009.
Yeah.
Where there seemed to be a lot of it, and you mentioned the video from 2010, but there seemed to be a lot of, anti-Obama, Obama's a secret Muslim, so therefore we've got to be
not only that,
mean and angry to Muslims.
One of my favorite things to study is World War I. And one of the particular areas that I've focused on was propaganda, war propaganda, and cultural propaganda during World War I. And it was so effective. The anti-German social propaganda in England was so effective that the Hanoverian dynasty had to rename itself.
Right, because it had been the House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Saxe-Coburg, yeah. They were the Hanoverian dynasty again. And
yeah.
They were Germans, German name, and they literally had to rebrand themselves. German Shepherds became Alsatians. So we know that while a Western nation, and the same thing happened here in the U.S., you could get Woodrow Wilson was throwing people in jail for singing German folk songs at a bar.
Yes.
Literally. You could be beaten half to death for singing a German folk song as you walk down the street.
Right, under the Alien and Sedition Acts.
The Espionage and Sedition Acts, actually. The Alien Sedition was John Adams.
Right, but there's still parts of that are in effect today.
Yes.
And I think the Espionage was part of the original Alien and Sedition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Most people don't realize that there are still parts of the law signed by John Adams that are in effect today.
They still, even after the war was over, they continued that propaganda and continued the prosecutions and all of those things. The suspension of hate. Like Woodrow Wilson basically suspended legal rights for people who spoke out against the war. So this is a normal thing. We have to dehumanize the people that we are dropping 26,000 tons of bombs on a year. Or how are you going to look yourself in the mirror tomorrow if you know you're paying for it?
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's because they don't want to think that they're killing people.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's 855 450 3733. There's more. Like, we just touched the surface on the story out of Tempe, Arizona. We'll get back into that in just a moment, but want to remind you that if you want to interact with other listeners and sometimes some of the hosts, you can do that on the Discord. That, Will, I think you have an account on the Discord. I technically have one, but I almost never look at it. But go to discord.lrn.fm, interact, like I said, with other listeners of Free Talk Live, listeners of your show, The Call to Freedom.
Yep.
And, well, there's probably some people that don't listen to any of those things that are in the Discord. Anyway, discord.lrn.fm.
We actually do Discord-only free giveaways about twice a week, where it's like sometimes it's coins, sometimes it's stickers. It just depends on what we happen to have around that we can give away. And if you're in the Discord chat, we'll just pick a name at random and be like, hey, you, High Tech Hate, or hey, you, Alaloka, or whoever it happens to be. You just won some coins, or you just won some free stickers, or
discord.lrn.fm. So let's actually jump into one of these articles here. You've actually got two of them about this burglary sort of thing. I'm not really sure what to call it, because burglary generally implies that there's some forceful breaking and entering. This was trespassing on the property and taking things from the outside of the building. So, there was definitely some theft and some robbery.
Well, I've seen people charged with third-degree burglary for going on somebody's porch.
Okay.
And they were in a gated-in area, porch-type area. So I'm sure that's what it is. More than likely, and this is where the hate crimes multiplier comes in. There are no hate crime laws in Arizona.
Okay.
So because of that, that's why I'm thinking that they decided to hit these women with these felony burglary charges, is because that's how they're going to get them with these, blown up charges.
Well, and then
the problem is juries won't usually convict.
Well, the thing is, the vast majority of things never actually wind up going to a trial. But you always want to, if you're a prosecutor, you want to go for the highest possible thing, and then, all right, well, we'll offer you a plea, and we'll drop this from a felony 3 to a Class A misdemeanor.
Yeah.
And then instead of all of these years of jail time, we'll suspend all the jail time. You just behave yourself for 4 years. We'll put you on probation, parole, things of that sort. You got to go random drug test, but if you get in any kind of trouble, then we can throw you in jail.
This here says on the legal definition of burglary, no physical breaking and entering is required. The offender may simply trespass through an open door. Unlike robbery, which involves the use of force or fear, to obtain another person's property, there's usually no victim present during a burglary. So that's
Okay.
going in and taking someone else's property. And
again, that's the definition in Arizona, might not be the definition somewhere else.
So that's how they're doing the burglary charge. It's a third-degree felony. And they're talking about using the hate crime multiplier at the end. But, I mean, these women, they
hold on. So you said that there is no hate crime statute in Arizona, but how do you wind up with a hate crime multiplier if there's not a hate crime law?
They can take the fact that it was a quote-unquote hate crime into consideration during sentencing in Arizona. But there are no statutes that actually guide that.
So it's not an additional offense.
Up to the judge.
It's not an additional offense. It's we can factor this in.
Exactly. Which means the judge can be like, you know what? You committed a Class C felony, which should give you, a year.
We've got a formula here.
20 years. So here you go. And I've seen that actually, like a guy literally was looking at life in prison for breaking some windows and, cutting up some wallpaper at a mosque, which, I mean, it's horrible that these people did that. And I mean, I'm not defending that they did these things.
Right.
I'm Muslim. I don't think it's a good thing. But hate crime, really life in prison for some drunken stupidity?
Sure, hate crimes are thought crimes. It's nonsense.
If I broke your window because I'm a jerk, or because I'm a jerk because I hate Muslims, or because I hate black people, or I hate Jews, or whatever, fill in group, marginalized group here, it doesn't change the fact that I broke your window.
And no kind of punishment. All right, so you broke a window, you now go to jail for X number of years, and then we're multiplying that times 3 because it was a hate crime. You're still not being required to replace the windows. You're not compensating the person for the amount of time that they were without a window. You're not compensating them for the amount of any kind of time away from doing the stuff to go to a court to make sure that you get found guilty.
Well, the Matthew Lillard incident, the Matthew Lillard murder, where these goons, they took this poor homosexual kid, they tied him, Shepard, that was it, Matthew Shepard. They tied him to a post, they literally beat him to death. And I'm sorry, but the kind of people who are willing to commit murder against a person because they hate that members of that group so much, they're not going to decide not to do it because they're going to get double life instead of regular life.
Right.
You know what? I hate them colored folk, but I ain't going to shoot that colored man because they give me the double life, and everybody knows the double life is worse. No, that's not the way this works, man. These evil people are not going to not hate people because you're going to punish them more for being an idiot.
Yep.
You can't prosecute stupidity.
My hero, Will Grigg, used to say, and I think he was quoting someone else, but he would say that you need to focus on the tyranny and not focus on the tyrant. And that's what we're talking about here. Murder is wrong all by itself.
Yes.
Burglary is wrong all by itself. And the fact that somebody happened to be a racist who was doing the crime shouldn't have any bearing on the sentencing or the guilt or anything. It's just what they did, not who they are.
So let's actually jump into this article. I'm not sure if you've got the one from Fox or The Hill pulled up in front of you here.
Well, the one from The Hill covers what horrible stuff the women did, which is what we've really been talking about. But I like the other story from Fox, and I wanted to be sure that we brought it up because this is the other side of that thing that we saw all from 2009 all till today is the big, 2 women do something evil and stupid, but in response, thousands of people from Tempe come out and say, no, these women don't represent the community of Tempe. We are a welcoming country. This is America. This is not what we're about. And, we're being reminded of that over and over and over and over and over again. And this says here that Saturday, there was a community get-together. They showered the mosque with love and acceptance. Love trumps hate was chanted repeatedly across the courtyard. This is America, and this is what we're about, said Emily Kirkland, a community member. Anytime that there's hatred expressed in a neighborhood, everybody should support the people that are being labored on, said Brad Singer, another community member. For every evil, bad act, there are many more people who will come out and support against these things. And it's just quote after quote after quote in this Fox 10 article from local community members who are like, look, man, these women don't represent Tempe. And they don't represent Tempe, and they sure as hell don't represent America and our values and what we're about here in this country. And seeing that happen over and over and over again. You had a mosque that was shot up with shotgun blasts left at the mosque door at a mosque I attended in Knoxville. And the same thing happened within a couple of days. You just had all these people. They're bringing flowers, cards, bringing their kids, just hundreds and hundreds of people. And these evil things, as bad as they may be necessary, unfortunately, for us to bring that better nature out of ourselves as a country.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So is this Trump's America? Is this somebody else's America? What is America?
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and needs to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Luminesce. Luminesce takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Luminesce twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Luminesce, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
If he has to make a burrow in a tree stump, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about this story out of Tempe where, Will, you had mentioned that some people are saying this is Trump's America. And I asked the question, well, is it Trump's America? Is it just America? What exactly is America? We'll get back into that conversation here in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about an online directory for liberty-minded businesses because, well, libertarians have wanted one for many years. Well, we're helping build one. Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, kind of like Yelp. But there's also a bit of a social networking aspect that you don't get from things like Yelp, where on Liberty.menu you can actually connect and share with other users. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. That's Liberty.menu. So, is this Trump's America? Johnny?
No, it is not. That's Bernie Sanders' America.
What do you mean?
I mean that these people are mentally deficient, and in the normal state of affairs, they would be ignored. But in America, we live in a democracy, and people can form coalitions and gain political power over each other, and folks feel threatened. And when you have diversity shoved down your throat, then you react to it. And so these people are gonna get some these ladies who brought their children with them to vandalize a mosque. They're gonna get some sympathy that they otherwise wouldn't get because people are afraid, and because people are afraid that they're going to be forced to live under Sharia law, which I mean I don't think it's plausible. It's possible, but without the coercive power of the state over us, there's nothing to fear.
So what do you mean that diversity is being shoved down people's throats?
Would it be legal for the Ku Klux Klan to start a school and advertise that they were only accepting white students, and that black students would not be accepted?
It would be legal, but socially it wouldn't be allowed.
I don't think it would.
I don't think they could do that. Now, if the Klan were to start a school and said only people that are of this denomination, that would be allowed because you can't have religious schools. But because of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, you could not, just like the Black Panthers couldn't open a school and say, we are only allowing African American children. But if it was faith-based and there was a faith requirement, that would be legal under federal law.
Sure. Well, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and we had our Black History Month, and we had people telling me all the time that racism was evil, and I kind of just accepted that, and I believe it. But I was still a little bit racist, and I've said this before. If I see a black man and a white woman walking down the street holding hands, I'm totally fine with it. This is the old me speaking, unless the white woman is especially attractive, and then I get I get something inside me twists up a little bit, and I don't like it. As I grew older, I examined those ideas. I found them faulty, and I rejected them on my own. And it had nothing to do with the training that I had received as a child not to be a racist. I learned that on my own. And when somebody is forcing me to be virtuous in some manner, I reject it. I push it away, and I will learn the lesson later than if I learn it on my own. And the world taught me that lesson. The schools didn't. And when I'm forced to do something, I push back. So these women are only getting traction because diversity is forced down our throats. Otherwise, the racism can't stand on its own. It will fail in the end because you will succeed, say, in a business by hiring the best person for the job. If you exclude 30% of the population because of their race, then you're going to be at a disadvantage to the guy who's competing with you, who will take anybody as long as they can do the job.
Not only that, like for me, I grew up in a community in Eastern Tennessee where people wore their racism on their sleeve very much. You know, like racist language was pretty open and commonplace. T-shirts, you know, like I stopped at a gas station on my way to Nashville one time that basically made it clear Muslims weren't welcome in not as many words. And you know what? I prefer my racism like that.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but I prefer an out and open racist because I'm not usually their target. I'm a straight white male. But
you're pretty pale for a Muslim.
Guess what? I have money and I like to use it when I go places. And if you have a sign on your door that it's like, no gays allowed, guess what I'm not going to do?
You're not going to give them your money.
I'm not going to shop at your store because I have family members and friends who are gay. And you know what? If they're not welcome in your store and their money's not good enough for you, well, guess what? Mine's not either. And if it's just, I don't care what group it is, even if it's somebody I don't like personally, guess what? If you're going to be that much of a bigot that you're going to close your doors to a group and refuse a profit to them, then my assumption is 9 times out of 10, you're a big enough bigot that you also advocate the state use some kind of force or violence against that group. And that means the money I give to you will probably go to that. And I'm a shopper with a conscience. Right. I don't want my money going to someone that I know is going to use it to try to get the state to target somebody, whether I'm a fan of their viewpoint or not.
Mm-hmm. Racism is a losing proposition all by itself. If you try to grind it under your heel, it's just gonna be reborn stronger than you could possibly imagine.
Look where we are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look around you right now. The people who brought Trump to victory are the same people who are now afraid to use well, you know what? I know people won't like me using this word, but harmlessly racist jokes. Just stupid stuff nobody really cared about. My dad's generation did it. Everybody that my dad knew was a Mick or a Wop or a Kike and they called each other that. My dad was a stupid Mick to every friend he had. And that was just how they spoke to each other. And now that generation is now like they're terrified to say anything to anyone because they may lose their job. They may be ostracized. Somebody might try to burn their house down. And those people are who took Trump to victory.
And I will say that, you know, on sort of a different side of that coin, Richard Pryor, if he were still alive doing comedy, he would not be able to do his routine now that he did 30 years ago.
Dave Chappelle can't do his routine now. He gets chopped up, ostracized, chastised. Twitter goes absolutely bonkers every time Dave Chappelle does a stand-up now because he's not PC enough.
Right, but nothing Chappelle says is anywhere near as bad as the stuff Richard Pryor was saying. But Richard Pryor was doing it to make a point. He said, I'm going to keep using this word until it has absolutely no power.
No meaning. That's right.
And, I look at, and I'm going to sort of divert this a little bit, but a lot of the conspiracy theorists that are, there's Illuminati symbols everywhere. Well, stop looking for them, and then they're not going to have any power. If you think that every triangle is so powerful as to be, like the Illuminati was at the pizza shop because the guy cut my pizza into triangles.
Daryl has a nose. Dun, dun, dun. Illuminati.
If we had regular...
Just stop looking for the symbols and they won't have power.
There's an A on Daryl's shirt. It has a triangle in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's also where you find the a-hole in team.
If we had stories on the news regularly or admonitions from teachers about the Illuminati and how that is all silly and nonsense, then that would make me kind of think, well, maybe there's a little something more going on here. But since we don't, I never think about the Illuminati.
Yeah, nor do I. But there are people that just are infatuated about it constantly. Mark Dice videos all the time. Every Super Bowl, he goes through the halftime show and looks for every little thing that he can point out as some kind of Illuminati symbolism. Yeah. They took a picture of this guy from the right side and you only see one eye, and that's the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati, and then the stage is a shape, and if you cut that shape in half, then it's a triangle, and triangles are pyramids, and pyramids are Illuminati. They cut the pizza.
Illuminati Tourette's.
Speaking of stories that I thought were old and put to bed.
We're out. I don't know what the hell happened. Didn't hear any music there.
I didn't either.
Listen to this. You can even use
Apparently
Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. You got it?
BuySellMakeOffer.com.
I'm feeling better, too.
BuySellMakeOffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, March 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.34 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,314 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $17, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,424. Antiwar.com reports with the White House planning a direct meeting between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un by May. They are in a rush to get ready. That means a hastily assembled team of officials and experts on North Korea who can get the leadership prepared for negotiations. Exactly what this team is ultimately going to look like is unclear, but Anthony Ruggiero from the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies is the first member announced. Ruggiero had worked for the Treasury Department and most recently as an advisor to Senator Marco Rubio. His His recent writings have centered heavily on North Korea with an eye towards advocating more and harsher sanctions against them and pushing for moves against Chinese companies for collaborating with North Korea. It's not clear what positives he brings to the table, but he was also harshly critical of allowing North Korea to participate in the Winter Olympics, dubbing it propaganda exercise. This stands in contrast to President Trump, who praised North Korea's behavior at the Olympics as a very positive sign.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Attorney General for Massachusetts said her office is launching an investigation into Facebook and a data firm, Cambridge Analytica, with ties to President Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Attorney General Maura Healey posted on Twitter, "Massachusetts residents deserve answers immediately from Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. We are launching an investigation." The Attorney General's office confirmed to the Boston Globe it was opening a civil investigation and was in touch with Facebook. On Friday, Facebook said it was suspending the data firm because it violated the social media platform's policies. Paul Grewal, Facebook's vice president and deputy general counsel, said in a statement, University of Cambridge psychology professor Alexander Kogan had provided Facebook user data through an app to third parties, including Cambridge Analytica. Facebook said that was a breach of the social media site's policy to protect people's information. Cambridge Analytica told Facebook the data was destroyed, but the social media giant said in a statement it recently received reports that that was not the case. In the summer of 2016, Trump's campaign hired Cambridge Analytica. Facebook says it has been working over the past few years to improve safety of Facebook users' data. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports the Pregnancy Care Clinic in the Southern California city of El Cajon offers a host of services for pregnant women, including ultrasound exams, prenatal vitamins, and maternity clothes. There is one exception: abortion. Now, the clinic, which staunchly opposes abortion, is among a group of Christian-based facilities known as crisis pregnancy centers involved in a major case that goes before the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday. They are challenging a California law that forces centers that are licensed as family planning centers to post notices that the state has programs offering free or low-cost birth control and abortion services, a requirement they argue violates their free speech rights under the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. Pregnancy Care Clinic Executive Director Josh McClure compared California's law to forcing the American Lung Association to tell people where they can buy cigarettes. The centers say they offer legitimate services and that their mission is to persuade women to forego abortion. The case is one of several the U.S. Supreme Court is tackling during its current term, in which conservative legal groups are invoking the First Amendment and asserting that governments are unconstitutionally compelling people to do or say things they oppose. Similar cases this term involve plaintiffs who argue that the First Amendment protects them from having to make a wedding cake for a gay couple or to pay fees to unions representing public employees to fund collective bargaining. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And we spent the better part of the first hour talking about this incident out in Arizona, and then sort of the broader tangential things about hate crimes and whether bigotry should just, not go underground, but be more out in the open to where we know who doesn't want to do business with certain people, and then we cannot give money to bigots.
I think that's a much more that kind of social interaction, I think, is a lot more effective than just wagging your finger at somebody and going, you don't know my people and you should learn. Like would you see people on TV and they're like, they expect the average anti-Muslim idiot to have a degree in Islamic jurisprudence when they don't even have, like the Muslim that they're arguing with doesn't even have one, And it's like, well, we expect, I think in America, we've come to expect things of each other that we really don't have a right to. Like as a Muslim, I have no right to expect either of you to know a single thing about my religion. Mm-hmm. It's not your responsibility to know anything about it. If I want you to learn, it's my responsibility to teach you. And if you don't want to hear me, well, that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, I don't have to respect you.
For real. You don't have to like me. You don't have to respect me. You have to respect my rights. Or not even that. You have to not violate my rights.
Yeah, I have to, like you say, I have to respect your rights, the rights to your person.
Exactly. You don't have a right to harm me. I don't have a right to take my thoughts from me, my religion from me, my views from me.
Well, I mean, it's
or
impossible.
Your property.
Or my property from me.
For me to take your thoughts from you. So I think I have a right to try to take your thoughts from you.
Well, not through violence.
No.
You don't have the right to beat me over the head until I agree with you.
That's true.
You have a right to try to debate me until we agree.
Yeah.
Or until my disagreement with you is no longer there and you agree with me, whichever way it goes. But you don't have a right to have the state put a gun in my face and say, you know what, I think your racist views are bad and you're going to just not have them or we're going to take your business away.
And I think usually
it doesn't work that way.
In the U.S. and from the perspective of the small majority white people, it's not normally somebody from a minority saying you will respect me. It's a white person saying you will respect him.
Yes.
And it's just a white person trying to show how virtuous he is.
Yes.
Let's go to
get power over you.
Let's go to the phones where we've got Dana calling in from Grand Rapids. Dana, you're on Free Talk Live with Daryl, Johnny, and Will. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, guys. I'm not sure because I don't know your voices as well as Ian and Mark, but one of you just before the break made a comment, and I can't get it verbatim, but it was something to, back in my parents' generation, they called each other, derogatory names in regards to their nationality.
That was
and
Will.
That was acceptable. Okay, Will. And then you went on to say this is Trump's constituency. See, this is the thing. You guys are supposed to be libertarians, but every so often something drips out of your mouth that sounds not democratic, but far radical left. These sound bites are really, really dangerous. You need to do the research on who his constituency was. His constituency was women. He won the majority of the women. He won almost a third of the Hispanic vote. He won some blacks, and he won the always Democratic union. Because when you're looking at little faces at your kitchen table and you can't put food on the table, but you're buying food stamps, or the disability rolls doubled from 7 million to 14 million because Obama dropped the requirements for claiming disability. If you said you had a back problem, you were on. If you said you had something mentally wrong with you, you were on. That's what people have a problem. When they have to pay for Obamacare, and yet they can't use it because the deductibles are in excess per year, per person, $8,000 to $24,000 was the highest case I found. And then you still weren't completely covered with the best plan. When that man single-handedly destroyed the world's best healthcare system, people are sick and tired of it. And when our Pentagon took the manuals to our military and removed all words that said extremist Islam or terrorist and Muslim, and then replaced that with evangelicals and military, male and female military returning. Okay, that is true because I've done the research.
Well, there were two different. You're conflating two different things that happened. There was a study that, by the way, was started during the Bush administration. It was finished under the Obama administration, where they decided to do a study on the resurgence of right-wing extremism, like Oklahoma City bomber type militia group type extremism. Right. Okay, that was a study that was initiated by Bush, not by Obama. But you just said it was Obama that did it, when that's not true. Now, what Obama did do... No. What Obama did do was he took the word Islam...
I'm sorry, I misspoke on that point. Let me retract that. What it was the Southern... I'm sorry, and they are two different groups, but they did remove that material of extreme Islamists and also the Muslim, the terrorists and Muslim, out of the military's book. They did not put in the evangelicals. I apologize for that. The evangelicals and the returning military are on a watch list of hate groups under the Southern Poverty Law Center. People are tired of it, guys.
Actually, they're on the Patriot list, not the hate list, but the SPLC's description of what a patriot is makes it sound very similar to the hate group, but it's technically a different list. Not that I'm defending the SPLC at all, because they're largely funded by government grants to promote some kind of agenda.
Well, since she addressed me directly on a specific point, I'd like to answer that at least.
Okay, thank you.
My uncle, all of them, they're union worker guys. They worked in tire factories and built transfer trucks and stuff up in the Midwest, in Indiana and Illinois, in those areas. My mom, again, same. My dad, factory worker. I come from the people that she's talking about that voted for Trump. And you guess what? Those were the people that I was talking about that used to refer to call me, my dad, hey, you dumb Mick. That is who those people were, the union workers, the guys who 10 years ago, 20 years ago, not 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they were able to feed their families and pay for their own health insurance and have a little bit left over to have a boat or go on a nice vacation, and now they can barely put food on the table. Those people, those are the people who voted for Trump, and yes, those are the people who can insult each other in friendliness, and it's just how communication is done in certain cultures. But now we have this crybaby, weepy, whiny, oh, you said that, so now I'm offended portion of the society that you can't do that anymore. And that's what you were talking about over here. Conan.
Johnny Ray.
Johnny Ray.
Go ahead, Dana.
Okay, I'm sorry then, because it came across as you were knocking them and saying, just like the far left does, is that, it's all these racists and all these Muslim haters and all this. I took it, that's the way it came across on the radio, that you were, knocking, that those were his people.
Well, what I'm saying is that was going on for 10 years before Trump ever came around. Those people were out there shooting at mosques and protesting new Muslim cemeteries. For 10 years before Trump was even a thing.
Dana, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Let's change gears here in a moment and talk about compelled speech. Should there even be such a thing as compelled speech? This is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. How would you like to try the best pillow that you will ever use and try it risk-free for 60 days? I'm talking about My Pillow. The My Pillow, yeah, that's the brand name. You don't actually get to come take mine. But you can get your very own My Pillow. And again, it's designed to fit to the shape of your body, hold your neck in the proper position. I've been using this thing for a couple of years, and yeah, it's the best pillow I've ever had. And unlike a regular pillow that collects dirt and dead skin over the years, you can actually take your MyPillow, throw it in the washing machine, throw it in the dryer, and it's still usable as something other than kindling to start a fire. Go to MyPillow.com. Use code FTL to get your very own MyPillow at half price, or get a second pillow free of charge. And remember, if for some reason you don't like it in the first 60 days, you get your money back. And the pillow itself, that's guaranteed to last you 10 years. MyPillow.com, code FTL. So let's change gears here a little bit and talk about something that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to be hearing arguments about coming up later this week. Case out of California that involves the Pregnancy Care Clinic from the city of El Cajon. They offer a host of services for pregnant women, including ultrasounds, prenatal vitamins, and maternity clothes. One thing that they don't provide is abortion. Well, they are now in the midst of a lawsuit along with other Christian-based facilities that are known as crisis pregnancy centers. And the case goes to the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday. Story coming from Reuters. These crisis pregnancy centers are challenging a law in California that forces centers that are licensed as family planning facilities to post notices that the state has programs offering free and low-cost birth control and abortion services, a requirement that they argue violates their free speech rights. The law also requires unlicensed facilities with no medical providers on staff to also disclose this fact. Pregnancy Care Center Executive Director Josh McClure said they're forcing us to use our walls as a billboard to promote abortion. He says that the law is akin to forcing the American Lung Association to tell people where to buy cigarettes. And I think his comparison here is wrong. It would be more akin to saying that the Alcoholics Anonymous must tell everybody that comes in, here are the happy hour specials of all of the bars within a 15-mile radius, and here's where the nearest liquor store is.
Could you imagine if you went to an Addicts Anonymous and the guy that was given the class sat down, he's like, all right, guys, so my name's Dave, and I'll be your counselor, and if you want to get some crack, Tyrone is 3 blocks down behind the red building. Just
Racist.
Knock on the right, just knock on the post, and someone will come down with a bag full of dope for you. Could you imagine that? Like just an advertisement for the local crack dealer at your Addicts Anonymous meeting.
Yeah, I misspoke myself, actually. I'm from, as you may know, I'm from Western North Carolina. You're from East Tennessee. Daryl, you're from Alabama or something.
Yes. Or something, yes.
I've got a couple friends of the family, white people, good, honest white people, have a son who's also white, and his name is Tyrone. So who's the racist?
Oh, no.
I'm the racist.
You just mentioned white like 10 times.
I got you beat. I got a white buddy of mine named Carlos.
No, sorry, Tyrone is better.
He's like 6'3".
Can we
blonde
not
hair.
try to figure out on the air who's the bigger racist? Let's go to the phones where we've got Dan calling in from Nebraska listening to
Dan says
LRN.FM. Dan, you're on Free Talk Live with Daryl, Johnny, and Will. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, you guys. So basically I wanted to tell you that Nebraska is having a gubernatorial election coming up. And
I've read about this where there's like 5 teenagers plus Vermin Supreme running for governor of Nebraska.
Johnny Ray, you should run.
Never.
I did not actually pick up onto that part of it, but
okay.
What I called and talked about was there's a lady who's running in our Republican primary who's going to try to bring a lot more cannabis freedom into Nebraska, and it's her whole entire platform. So her name's Crystal Gable. I want to get that out there. But the other thing is our current sitting governor, Pete Ricketts, did something that I'm not going to lie, I'm still frankly pretty butthurt about with the death penalty, which is why I want him out of office, if you don't mind me explaining.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, first off, this guy has the weirdest obsession with like wanting to make sure criminals get their death or whatever, because when we got rid of the death penalty initially, this guy kept making comments to our unicameral that were like, we're going to kill him anyway. It's going to happen. Don't let him escape justice. And then he used the state's money to pay to have illegal drugs brought in from India to do the execution when none of the companies that make them would sell them to the state. And they got seized at the border, and they never actually got to Nebraska because like the customs enforcement caught all of the shipments or whatever. But I don't know how that's not enough to sink somebody's political career, to be a frank.
Yeah, and wasn't there something, I think it was Nebraska, it might have been Kansas, but it was one of those Midwest states where the legislature actually passed something to abolish the death penalty, but then there was a referendum to overturn that. Was that Nebraska?
That was here. That was here. Yep, that was here.
Yeah, that's, like one of the few times where I look and see, somebody used referendum to wind up doing something horrible. Normally, referendum prevents really bad bills from going through. This, I would consider to be one of the better things that a legislature has ever done. And then, do you know if the governor was involved in getting the referendum on the ballot to overturn this?
Oh, yeah, he definitely... He personally bankrolled most of the effort to get it back in.
Yeah.
I actually am pretty sure one thing that's good is he didn't use state money to do it. This guy's dad is like a billionaire, and he just campaigned the hell out of this entire state trying to get the death penalty.
$300,000 of his own money. He used $300,000 of his own money to campaign to put the question to voters in the form of a referendum on November 8th, and then donated another $100,000 this fall to fund a campaign to sway voters to reinstate the death penalty. So $400,000, almost $500,000 of his own money, or his daddy's money, actually. But yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, we don't usually get too many cases of people who are so bad they need to get killed in Nebraska. Not too many people. But recently, there's two really fresh cases in our minds here. One guy by the name of Nico Jenkins, and the other is Anthony Garcia. Both really fascinating stories, too. I mean, they're, in my opinion, could be TV special kind of deals, but I think those are the two. I think that if it was 4 years ago, when those two cases probably wouldn't have both been at the forefront, then maybe I should have said 6 years ago, we wouldn't even be nobody would have wanted the death penalty. And I can't understand why people would want so badly to have the
Dan, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. This is Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, Xkeyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now, here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now, they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And this November, I will be running the world's biggest, most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon. And I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who had pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project has provided direct representation or critical assistance in nearly 200 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. I've got the travel and the lodging covered. But what I need to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon is to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. And every dollar that you donate through run.freetalklive.com goes directly to the Innocence Project. And there are some matching funds. So the next $1,500 that comes in will be matched dollar for dollar. Run.freetalklive.com.
What's up?
You've got some info on the Kansas thing.
This guy's just a piece of work, man. Basically, what's going on here is what it looks like, at least, is it's a Republican-controlled House, right? A Republican-controlled state, basically. So they have a GOP majority and a GOP governor. And as a GOP governor, he expects fealty from the Republican majority that he has.
That's generally how things work.
Well, the problem is he's a different kind of Republican than they are. He's a bloodthirsty, anyone who's not born, he's a bloodthirsty nationalist, and evidently Nebraska.
So he's a Republican.
Well, evidently Nebraska's Republican leadership is not particularly like him. Says he was elected, he became governor in 2015 of January, right?
Yep,
January
so elected in 2014.
Within a few months, there was a bill to raise the gas tax to pay for repairs to roads and bridges. He vetoed that, and the legislature overrode the veto. 2 weeks later, the legislature overrode another veto, this time on the death penalty. The very next day, there was a third override over a bill to allow driver's licenses for young immigrants who were granted temporary legal status under Barack Obama's DREAM Act.
Dreamers.
And then
DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals.
All right. Now, a year later, they would override another veto of a bill permitting those same immigrants to obtain professional and commercial licenses. And because of all of this not getting the support of his own party, he wants to use this effort to get the death penalty on as a referendum as a wedge issue to literally.
And you said that he wound up bankrolling.
Yes, $400,000.
$400,000
of his daddy's money, not his own money, of his daddy's money. But yeah, his daddy's like Daddy Warbucks. So, that's what rich people do. They spend daddy's money, and that's what he's doing. He's found his little pet project.
Yeah, so that explains why the Republican governor somehow allowed, I say allowed this bill that he didn't support to go through, because he vetoed and his veto got overridden. And that's why he wound up doing the referendum.
Yeah. He wants, but again, he wants to use it as a wedge issue in order to push out his opponents in the state house and the state senate. He's hoping that he can actually inspire primaries. He wants people to primary members of his own party, because they won't give in to what he wants, which is basically the ability to use the state to murder anyone that he does things he doesn't like.
Now, one thing that
did you mention the lawsuit that was filed arguing that the petition should be invalidated?
No.
Okay, that's pretty interesting too. Capital punishment opponents after this referendum.
Yeah.
Then filed a lawsuit arguing that the petition should be invalidated on the grounds that Ricketts, who had contributed $200,000 to the campaign, was the, quote, primary initiating force for the petition drive and should have been included in the list of sponsors required by Nebraska law. In February 2016, a Lancaster County district judge dismissed the lawsuit, ruling that Ricketts' financial support of the petition effort did not ipso facto make him a sponsor.
Well,
so I think a lot of people who may have signed that petition may have been fierce opponents or not big fans of Ricketts for whatever reason, and wouldn't have signed it if they had known that.
Yeah.
But that's
politics.
But maybe not. I mean, if it's specifically a petition for what's the technical term for the death penalty?
Capital punishment?
Capital punishment.
Yeah, for capital punishment, then maybe they were big fans of Pete Ricketts.
Yeah. I don't know. And I'm just trying to figure out how or why, or rather, first, why there are party primaries in Nebraska for their legislature when the legislature is officially nonpartisan. And then how do those work? If everybody's on the ballot without a party label, then how do you wind up having primaries to determine who the party nominees are when the parties officially don't have nominees because nonpartisan?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't live in Nebraska, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I didn't expect you could, but that's something that you had mentioned, that he is hoping that some of the Republicans wind up facing primary challengers, but it's officially nonpartisan, so why is there a Republican primary? And furthermore, why are taxpayers paying for parties to have primaries to determine who their nominees are?
And again, though, we're back to
compelled speech.
A governor, a political leader, the top of the heap, trying to use state money in order to bully his opponents into submission. And again, as always, like, here's one of those things that you'll notice. Like, you get like these tree-hugging hippie white liberals that spend mommy and daddy's money. When they do it, they're like, we want to save the rainforest or save the whales or like build a commune where everybody lives together like sunshine and rainbows. And then when you get like some rich white conservative who spends mommy and daddy's money, like, what do they want to spend mommy and daddy's money on?
Lefties want to spend daddy's and mommy's money on funding abortions too.
True.
But they want to spend your money on funding abortions.
Yes, my money.
They want to spend money throwing parties to convince politicians to spend your money on abortions.
And that takes us back to this compelled speech lawsuit that goes before the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday. Again, law in California is that these crisis pregnancy centers that are licensed as family planning facilities are currently required under California state law to provide information to people that come to them. They have to provide them information on state programs that offer free or low-cost birth control and abortion services. The executive director of one of these facilities said that, this is compelled speech. It would be akin to the state of California forcing the American Lung Association to tell people where they can buy cigarettes. California said in legal papers that some of these centers try to prevent women from accessing abortions by using incomplete or false medical advice. Further, they say that some try to resemble medical clinics down to lab coats worn by staff, giving the impression that they are an abortion service provider while employing no actual medical professionals. The centers say they offer legitimate services and that their mission is to persuade women not to have an abortion. The case is one of several that goes to the Supreme Court, in which certain groups are invoking the First Amendment and asserting that governments are unconstitutionally compelling them to say or not say things or to provide services that they oppose. We'll talk about that, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on compelled speech? Should there be? This is Free Talk Live. This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. fullycookedbacon.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And we've been talking about this compelled speech case that is going to the U.S. Supreme Court, where Supreme Court on Tuesday will hear the case being brought by Pregnancy Care Clinic of El Cajon, California, and several other places that are licensed as family planning facilities. The officials with the state of California say that some of these try to resemble medical clinics, down to people wearing lab coats. And that gives the impression that they are an abortion services provider, but they don't actually have medical professionals on staff. So therefore, because they don't provide abortion, they have to wind up telling people where they can get abortions. Next thing you know, Jenny Craig is going to have to tell people where they can go get fast food. And, you know, McDonald's is going to have to tell people where a gym is. Continuing on, the article from Reuters says this case is one of several that the Supreme Court is tackling during the term in which conservative legal groups are invoking the First Amendment and asserting that governments are unconstitutionally compelling people to say or do things they oppose. Similar cases involve plaintiffs who argue that the First Amendment protects them from having to make a wedding cake for a gay couple or to pay fees to unions representing public employees to fund collective bargaining agreements. The cases may have a sympathetic audience on a court with a 5-4 conservative majority that has already been receptive to First Amendment arguments. There's more from this, but let's go to Skype, where we've actually got a caller that we've not heard from in quite a while. We've got Stefan calling in from Ohio. Stefan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I'd like to discuss potential meddling, according to some people, in the Missouri Senate election.
Meddling. Who's meddling in the election?
According to some individuals, I'm sure you've heard of Austin Peterson, and you know that he's running in Missouri for the Senate
against Claire McCaskill.
Well, first he has to win the Republican primary.
Yes.
Who
which
is he?
he is probably not going to do.
I don't know anything about it.
Austin Peterson is...
and please don't mention the website that he runs.
He's a conservatarian, I guess would be the best way to put it. He's like a John Stossel libertarian, maybe? Or not even quite that libertarian, really.
Who's the guy that wears the bow tie?
Jeffrey Tucker.
No, the other guy that's got the TV show.
Ben Carson?
No.
Carson Tucker.
Carson
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson.
He's not that bad. Come on, give him some credit.
Almost.
He's a conservatarian. He's
an internet troll.
He used to work.
Sounds like a pretty awful person.
He worked as a producer for Judge Napolitano's television show. Runs a website that I'm not allowed to say on the air.
Well, you're allowed to. I just don't want you to.
He voted for me for vice presidential nomination, so I can't.
After endorsing Alicia Dern, who then dropped out.
Yeah. He did
so
come and
Austin,
apologize
Austin
to me
Peterson
for that,
was one of the people that was seeking the Libertarian presidential nomination in 2016.
Does he have a position within the party?
No, he's not.
He left the party and joined the Republicans to run for Senate as a Republican.
And even still would have been more of a libertarian than Gary Johnson and Bill Weld.
Anyway, the charge that's being made is he's actually been banned from Facebook multiple times, and a lot of people are saying that that's them trying to censor his campaign, because the reason he keeps getting banned is because he keeps giving away guns.
So, yeah, he keeps doing things that he knows intentionally violate the terms of service from Facebook so that he can say, Facebook is shutting me down.
Yeah, but the things that he's doing to violate the terms of service, I love.
Right, they're silly.
They're
They're
awesome.
silly, but when you know that you're violating the terms of service, you don't then get to say that you're being shut down.
True.
Because you know you're violating the terms of service.
He's not really violating the terms of service. It is against their terms of service for you to post a gun for sale, specifically on their website. His general campaign is giving away the guns, and his live streams where he announces these things just so happen to be on the website.
Now, I will say that, sometimes the Facebook ban hammer does wind up fall in weird, strange ways. I was a victim one time because one of the other admins for the Free Talk Live Facebook page shared a link to a Facebook page for the Gold Coast bikini team, and someone reported that as something, and then all of the admins for the Facebook or the Free Talk Live Facebook page got 7-day bans because a link to another Facebook page was shared and somebody reported that as offensive.
Wow.
So
I've got
I will say that the banning doesn't always necessarily come because the TOS were actually violated, but in his case, I'm fairly certain he's doing it to intentionally get bans.
Well, I've got a story here from St. Louis today.
All right.
It just came out a few hours ago, actually. It says Senate candidate Austin Peterson back on Facebook after ban for giving away an AR-15. It was a 30-day suspension which applied to Peterson's personal profile, not his Senate campaign page. It was lifted this week.
Right. So when
spokesman said Friday that they would not be quoted by name, but that the ban came after repeated violations of the community standards, banning content, disallowing anyone to purchase, sell, gift, or trade a firearm on the platform.
Right. And when someone gets banned, it is the admin of the page. They don't remove the page necessarily. They say the admins are not allowed to post. So that's why he was banned and the page wasn't removed.
Well, the accusation that Peterson made was, and this is a valid accusation, that he was banned because Facebook's chief operating officer, Sheryl Sandberg, is a supporter of the Democratic senatorial incumbent Claire McCaskill. Federal Election Commission records show Sandberg gave the maximum of $5,400 to McCaskill's campaign. So it is it does look a little fishy.
It looks fishy to me because, look, I know a lot of people hate when I say this. I'm all for Austin Peterson winning the seat because I think he's certainly better than nothing at this point when it comes to liberty. I know he has some very controversial positions amongst libertarians, but I think he's honestly the only one between him and Josh Hawley that could beat Claire McCaskill, and they're not targeting Josh Hawley.
Well, I love how he's like, I love Austin because he's better than nothing.
I think vacant would be a better senator than
Claire McCaskill,
all
at
100
least.
of the senators that are currently there.
If I had voted for president, I would have voted for Trump, and it would have been based on that criteria. He's better than Hillary.
Better than nothing? Well, you could have written somebody in, and surely somebody in Missouri that wants a better candidate can certainly write somebody in. But I think it would be foolish to say that he's less of a libertarian than Josh Hawley or Claire McCaskill.
I don't know who Josh Hawley is, but I do know that the Libertarian Party
Rank-and-file Republican
has a candidate. So if libertarians in Missouri actually want to vote for a libertarian, they will have that chance, and they don't have to vote for.
Alicia's running against him, so they don't have that chance.
Well, the libertarians haven't selected their nominee yet.
You and I both know Alicia's probably going to win the nomination. She's the big name in the race.
Cecil Lentz is also running.
Isn't she running for LNC chair, though?
She's running for both, as far as I know.
Right, and one can have a position of leadership in a political party and still be a candidate.
Yeah.
The Republicans and Democrats don't generally do it that way. They generally make the chair somebody that, we want to make sure that they don't get involved in electoral stuff. So here, you become chair.
So your choices in Missouri are Claire McCaskill. If Peterson wins, Austin Peterson.
He's not going to win.
Or
I wouldn't say that.
Alicia, or a libertarian who endorsed Bill Weld.
If this Josh Hawley guy is an establishment Republican, the Republicans are going to make sure that he wins their nomination.
It would be, not unless the voters decide to choose Josh Hawley. They still have to vote,
Right,
Josh
I know
Hawley
they still have to
win
vote,
the
but
primary.
the get out the vote of the establishment is a lot better than the get out the vote of an internet troll whose supporters generally don't live in Missouri.
Yeah, but
is he really an internet troll? I don't see him.
Yes, he really is an internet troll. Stefan, thank you for the call.
The reporting around Hawley is that the Republican Party base in Missouri is not particularly excited about him. They're actually kind of nervous.
Well, they're probably not excited about Peterson either. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
I tried other brands, but I came back to My Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, March 18th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.34 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,314 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $17, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,424. Antiwar.com reports with the White House planning a direct meeting between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un by May, they are in a rush to get ready. That means a hastily assembled team of officials and experts on North Korea who can get the leadership prepared for negotiations. Exactly what this team is ultimately going to look like is unclear, but Anthony Ruggiero from the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies is the first member announced. Ruggiero had worked for the Treasury Department and most recently as an advisor to Senator Marco Rubio. His recent writings have centered heavily on North Korea with an eye towards advocating more and harsher sanctions against them and pushing for moves against Chinese companies for collaborating with North Korea. It's not clear what positives he brings to the table, but he was also harshly critical of allowing North Korea to participate in the Winter Olympics, dubbing it propaganda exercise. This stands in contrast to President Trump, who praised North Korea's behavior at the Olympics as a very positive sign.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the Attorney General for Massachusetts said her office is launching an investigation into Facebook and a data firm, Cambridge Analytica, with ties to President Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Attorney General Maura Healey posted on Twitter, Massachusetts residents deserve answers immediately from Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. We are launching an investigation. The Attorney General's office confirmed to the Boston Globe it was opening a civil investigation and was in touch with Facebook. On Friday, Facebook said it was suspending the data firm because it violated the social media platform's policies. Paul Grewal, Facebook's vice president and deputy general counsel, said in a statement, University of Cambridge psychology professor Alexander Kogan had provided Facebook user data through an app to third parties, including Cambridge Analytica. Facebook said that was a breach of the social media site's policy to protect people's information. Cambridge Analytica told Facebook the data was destroyed, but the social media giant said in a statement it recently received reports that that was not the case. In the summer of 2016, Trump's campaign hired Cambridge Analytica. Facebook says it has been working over the past few years to improve safety of Facebook users' data.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports the Pregnancy Care Clinic in the Southern California city of El Cajon offers a host of services for pregnant women, including ultrasound exams, prenatal vitamins, and maternity clothes. There is one exception: abortion. Now, the clinic, which staunchly opposes abortion, is among a group of Christian-based facilities known as crisis pregnancy centers involved in a major case that goes before the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday. They are challenging a California law that forces centers that are licensed as family planning centers to post notices that the state has programs offering free or low-cost birth control and abortion services, a requirement they argue violates their free speech rights under the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. Pregnancy Care Clinic Executive Director Josh McClure compared California's law to forcing the American Lung Association to tell people where they can buy cigarettes. The centers say they offer legitimate services and that their mission is to persuade women to forego abortion. The case is one of several the U.S. Supreme Court is tackling during its current term, in which conservative legal groups are invoking the First Amendment and asserting that governments are unconstitutionally compelling people to do or say things they oppose. Similar cases this term involve plaintiffs who argue that the First Amendment protects them from having to make a wedding cake for a gay couple or to pay fees to unions representing public employees to fund collective bargaining. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the fuck up? Seriously. Just shut the fuck up. I lost back then. Keep going. What the fuck are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 3 in studio tonight. We've got Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And your calls and thoughts are welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your thoughts welcome about whatever is on your mind or any of the topics that we've covered thus far tonight. The Russian election. A couple of women in Arizona arrested after trespassing onto property belonging to a mosque. Compelled speech, the death penalty, Facebook meddling in elections. And I've actually got a story about Facebook going on the defensive after some data leaks possibly were exposed. But Johnny, there was something about the death penalty that you wanted to touch on?
Right. Earlier in the show, we spent a fair amount of time disparaging Pete Ricketts, the governor of Nebraska, and for his partly fueled by his support of capital punishment in the state of Nebraska.
Yes.
And I wanted to say that I think there are basically, I could be wrong about this, and this might be something that my opinion evolves as I mature, but I think there are beasts who walk among us who are better off dead. And the death penalty,
we need to stop electing them.
That's
Boom!
not where I'm going with
Amen
that.
to that.
That's not where I'm going with that, Daryl. I'm saying that there are people of all walks of life, a vanishing minority. Most people would agree with that, but who are monsters who kill, they're depraved, and I don't know that the answer for that is not to kill them. But I decided a long time ago that it was just safe to assume that the government sucks at every single thing they do.
Yes.
They don't face the wrong incentives to make the right choices. So I can't trust them I can't trust the life of any single man in their hands.
Right. The Death Penalty Information Center has a list of people who have been exonerated years after being executed. One woman in particular was exonerated 94 years after she was murdered by the state of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
Is
of
this
which,
surprising to you though? I mean, really, with all statistically,
no, it's going to happen.
Bound to happen.
It's going to happen. That's Mark's argument. As always, you've just got to decide how many innocent people are you okay with being murdered by the state.
By the state. Yeah.
0 is my number.
Okay. Mm-hmm. For all those conservatives out there who are like rah 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 death penalty, you guys like to crow about how your views, your faith, your culture is better than me as a Muslim. Even Muhammad ﷺ himself stated his own words were, "I would rather let a guilty man go free than to punish a man who is innocent." So, I mean, come on, this is foundational ideas that we shouldn't be arguing about this stuff in the 21st century. The great minds of antiquity already decided that the state killing people was a bad idea. Even though you have execution and capital punishment within the Islamic framework, none of that has anything to do with the state. It's all private. Private courts, private arbitrated courts. They're not owned, run, or financed by the state. They're all completely separate from that. Mm-hmm. So even 7th century Arabia understood the government killing people is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And then, when you have governments that are, pulling off these murders, you're forcing people like myself who are morally opposed to killing other humans, you are forcing me to pay to kill someone.
Well, not only that,
you're forcing anti-war activists like myself and Will and Johnny and millions of others. You are forcing them to pay to drone bomb people halfway across the world. You are forcing environmentalists to subsidize oil companies. You are forcing people to pay for things that they abhor.
And those drone pilots are largely responsible for the spiking suicides in the U.S. military.
A lot of this, everything here that you're listing off, though, it brings me, and I've said this over and over again, societies, countries, nations have the leadership that they deserve, that is a reflection of the people. We have become a society that we argue over whether or not it's okay to murder children, whether they're in the womb or in Afghanistan. We literally argue over whether or not it's okay to murder people. We argue. We have arguments. We have political leaders who spend $400,000 of their daddy's money to overturn the decision of their state's government on whether or not the state should murder people, on whether or not, this is a country, we are a country that executed a 14-year-old black boy because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and for no other reason than that. And we're surprised that we have leaders like Obama, like Donald Trump, like Hillary Clinton, like that these sociopathic slime of the earth, the dredges of the swamp itself rise out like the burpings of clabbered milk to the top and grasp the ring of power in a society where we literally argue the morality of which children is it okay to murder and which children is it not.
Yep. And people, no matter how many people you kill, even if you torture them as well, it's not going to stop murder, because the murderers and the beasts and the monsters that I was talking about, they're sick in the head, and they're not gonna be afraid of the executions they see. They might aspire to being executed by the state, and the only thing it will accomplish is give people a false sense of security that somebody is protecting them from the monsters, and they're not protected.
No,
and there's no statistical evidence.
We kill the monster after they do the damage.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they do to protect you from the monster to start with. Usually, it's a private citizen that fingers the monster or wounds the monster or kills the monster. It's almost never the state. The state gets lucky every once in a while, and somebody tells them, it's that guy. But rarely do they ever put the pieces together on their own. We just throw lots of money at them because we think that's what they're doing, when the truth is they're just passing the money around themselves and giving some to the guy that pulls you over so that they can make a little more money, and then they can pull the black guy over down the street and they can enforce their privilege over him, and then they can come and tell you, oh, well, we're protecting you from him over there, and then go tell the rich man, well, we're protecting you from that poor white trash down the street. It's all just a great big scam, and you're paying for it.
And the prosecutors are not incentivized to convict the right person. They're incentivized to convict someone.
Well, not only someone, but I think a lot of times it's incentivized to convict people that are going to get you the most media attention. Like there are some criminals that just aren't on camera.
I'm thinking specifically of a lot of the cases that I've read about recently where people have many years later been exonerated because there was evidence showing that not only did they not commit the crime, but there's no way that they could have been at the scene of the crime. But the prosecutor, we've got to convict somebody. This is the first person that came up as a suspect. Hell, there's even a Netflix docuseries, Making a Murderer, about the prosecutors just saying, well, we've got to convict somebody, and why not go with these two?
Oh, I got one better than that, and this goes back to my better headlines. Harry Connick, when he was a prosecutor in Louisiana, the father of Harry Connick Jr. Yeah, he was running. I think he was going to run for governor or the Senate or something like that, and he had this big murder case. So what they did was they arrested this guy, and they got the guy but they had the guy for a burglary, and they just tried to pin the murder on him. So they stacked it up. They convicted him of the armed burglary so that when they were able to convict him of the murder, they could get a death penalty, and that would get him bigger headlines, armed robbery headlines, then dangerous repeat armed violent offender taken off the streets kind of thing. Well, it turns out there was blood evidence, literal DNA that would exonerate the defendant, and Connick hid that evidence from the prosecutors, from the defense. And when it came out the day that he was supposed to be executed, he beat them in court, and our Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, decided that he didn't deserve any money from the state of Louisiana at all.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. What are your thoughts on capital punishment or compelled speech or whatever?
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Core and your Bitcoin Cash. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Never, ever send a follow-up email asking, "Did you get my email?" Email 101. If it didn't bounce back undeliverable, it got where you sent it. And avoid transmedia pestering, like calling to ask, "Did you get my email?" or emailing to say, "I left you a voicemail." If your emails and voicemails aren't being acknowledged, your problem isn't technology, it's technique. Is your message concise and understandable? Have you boiled it down to seem as relevant as possible to the recipient? In other words, is it the opposite of spam or junk mail? All of this really matters if you're a job seeker. But even if you're not, with money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And how would you like to save money on things that you were going to buy online anyway? What if I told you that you could save 5% instantly? What if I told you you could save up to 33% on things that you were going to buy anyway? Well, here's how. Go to saveatpurse.com and then just search for the items that you want to buy, add those into your shopping cart, and then when you go to checkout, select the discount that you want from 5% up to 33%, and then you fund the account using Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. They're at saveatpurse.com. Someone then winds up buying the items. You get the items, they get crypto, and then when the items come to you, you go and say, I've received my shipment, and then everything is done, and it is so easy and seamless and smooth now, where used to you had to have an Amazon account. You don't need that anymore. You can just do all of the searching for the items right there, saveatpurse.com. We've been talking about the death penalty, and we talked about some of the prosecutorial incentives, or rather lack thereof. I've got an article from a couple of years ago from Huffington Post about how prosecutors are almost never disciplined for misconduct. But let's go to the phones, where we've got David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to there's a gentleman who runs a radio station that you guys have broadcast on out of Alamogordo, New Mexico, and he shared an email with Ian with some of the fun and games, corrupt kind of stuff that goes on in New Mexico. I'd just like to invite him, Ken, if he's listening, to call in and make a call to you guys and talk with you and expose more of the stuff.
He's always invited to call in. David, thank you for the call. Everybody is invited to call in, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
I found a story about a Sharif cousin who had been prosecuted by Harry Connick, and it was the biggest controversy I saw on the Wikipedia page I was looking at for Harry Connick. And he was falsely convicted of first-degree murder of Michael Girardi in 1996. The defense was not given an exculpatory witness statement saying that she wasn't wearing her glasses and she couldn't identify the shooter. So that's what I got about that. And I don't know if there was another one. I thought you were mistaken and that your story about blood was bullcrap. So that's why I'm bringing that up.
No,
but maybe there was another controversy from
I know that there are several stories of people that were close to being executed, and
when Connick was.
I don't know if they were specifically tied to Connick. I'm saying I know of these that have happened in the United States, of people that were getting close to being executed, and then all of a sudden some DNA evidence that was never tested comes to light, and they wind up getting, an overturn.
Connick and some of his Connick and some of the police in Louisiana were sued by Sharif Cousin for violating his civil rights, and the court rejected the suit, saying that the prosecutor has total immunity.
Yeah. So, story here from HuffPo, again from about a year and a half ago. They began by talking about Anthony Graves, who in 1994 was convicted on charges of setting a fire that killed 6 people in South Texas. He then spent 18 years in prison, 12 of them on death row. On 2 separate occasions, he came close to being executed for crimes he did not commit, but he was spared the death penalty long enough to get an appeal. A closer look at his case eventually revealed that Graves was an innocent man who was railroaded by Charles Sebasta, a Texas prosecutor who withheld evidence and presented false testimony to secure a conviction. More than a decade later, a federal appeals court overturned the conviction. Graves was freed and later filed a complaint against Sebasta seeking his disbarment. The Texas Bar's Board of Disciplinary Appeals sided with Graves, calling Sebasta's conduct egregious, and revoked his rights to practice law. And in early 2016, so 2 years ago, I misread it as being 12 of 2016, not 2 of 2016. So 2 years ago, Sebasta was disbarred. HuffPo continues, while his actions may appear obviously condemnable to the casual observer, experts say it's actually surprising that he was punished for them at all. U.S. Circuit Court Judge Alex Kozinski said it's almost unheard of. Kozinski is a leading voice on prosecutorial misconduct, who famously wrote in a 2013 opinion that the problem had an epidemic level in the United States. Prosecutors are rarely punished for misconduct, and the cases that have led to disbarment or even criminal charges are few and far between. When prosecutors do face severe consequences for breaking the law, it's when their behavior is deemed to be deliberate and seemingly indefensible. At the same time, their punishment may not be proportional to the damage they have inflicted upon innocent people, which illustrates the considerable latitude the legal process affords prosecutors. Will, you had something here that you found?
Well, the story that I was talking about, it's almost exactly what I said. Not quite. Basically, it's same guy, Harry Connick, and this is the really funny part. You're going to love the judge's decision, the Supreme Court's decision, because you just read where he didn't turn over evidence in another murder trial.
Oh, so what you showed me was not Sharif Cousins?
No, this is John Thompson. He sued Harry Connick, a former district attorney in New Orleans, saying his office had not trained prosecutors to turn over exculpatory evidence. Prosecutors in the office in this case failed to give Mr. Thompson's lawyer a report showing that blood at the crime scene was not actually his. So it wasn't a blood sample. It was the report on a blood sample that showed it wasn't his blood.
Yeah, and the reason and why
Justice Clarence Thomas, writing for the majority, which said that, okay, he sued and won $14 million. The state of Louisiana appealed it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that he had to give the $14 million back to the state of Louisiana. Clarence Thomas's reasoning, writing for the majority, said that only a pattern of misconduct would warrant holding Mr. Connick accountable for what happened on his watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it happening more than once doesn't show a pattern. More than one person convicted for a murder that they did not commit is in a pattern.
And why would a prosecutor train his staff to withhold exculpatory evidence? I'll tell you why, because sometimes you get away with it. Because if you knew you were going to get caught, and then you wouldn't do it. But you've got a case to win, and you don't get elected by losing cases, so you withhold evidence, and most of the time you get away with it.
Yep, and let's continue talking about a couple of the people that didn't get away with it, including Ken Anderson, former Texas prosecutor and judge. And your calls and thoughts, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNTelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNTelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
Sunfest is on the line in California.
Yeah, the greatest danger is that they're destroying the sun and the earth.
Whoa. Slow down, Sunfest. Slow down. Who is destroying the sun?
The economy. Everything that's happening is a job hunt. It's a job tax.
What are you talking about?
Definitely. The sun is waning, the water is rising, and we need the sun to dry it. When you have an economy that's creating jobs on a war scale, 24 hours a day, the cosmos can't keep up with it, let alone the sun. There's Star Trek and Andromeda, which is hurling at us. If you're not informed, you can go out and get the information.
That's our name tonight.
Stop your sexist attack on women, whereas you hear anything
You
that
are
the men
so
have to say.
outrageous. Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll get back into the discussion about prosecutorial misconduct here in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about a website that you can go to find out all kinds of news out of the crypto world. Report published about 4 hours ago. Twitter prepares to ban cryptocurrency ads. Another story from earlier today. Drummer for Guns N' Roses wants to use crypto to change the music industry. You can find those stories and much, much more over at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com. So in the last segment, I mentioned Ken Anderson, former Texas prosecutor and judge, who ultimately pled no contest to felony charges of criminal contempt of court for intentionally withholding evidence in a case against Michael Morton, an innocent man who wrongfully spent 25 years in prison for the murder of his wife. For his violations of the Constitution, Anderson was forced to give up his license to practice law, was ordered to perform 500 hours of community service, and he spent 10 days in jail. He was the first prosecutor ever in the history of the United States to ever go to jail for wrongfully convicting a man. A man who spent 25 years of his life in prison, and the prosecutor gets 10 days and 500 hours of community service.
They're actually pushing a law in California. It was introduced by Assemblywoman Patty Lopez and signed by Governor, it's been passed, signed by Governor Jerry Brown on Friday. A prosecutor can receive up to 3 years in prison for altering or intentionally withholding evidence that defendants might use to exonerate themselves. Previously, those acts had been considered misdemeanors.
And you're saying this went into effect last week?
No, this was...
You said it went into effect on Friday.
Last year.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think... I figured if it went into effect last week, I would have heard about it in the last day or two.
I hadn't heard about it, but yeah, about 6 months ago, California signed a law. So now, at least in California, you'll go to jail. In theory.
Maybe, in theory.
Yeah. In
multiple
theory.
Continuing from...
If other prosecutors decide to prosecute you. Like, I remember when I was a kid, we had our local sheriff got arrested. He was caught with like $270,000 of money that was supposed to pay in drug informants that he had embezzled. And they knew he took like hundreds of thousands of dollars more. They cleared the booking area of the jail so that he could be booked in and out. Like on that same day. And when it was all said and done, he paid a $40,000 fine, after embezzling, almost $1 million. Paid a $40,000 fine and wasn't allowed to hold a public office for 10 years and had to do 10 years of state probation. And that was his he was caught in possession of over $250,000 of stolen money.
Who is the sheriff that stole the food money?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that on Thursday, I believe it was. Sheriff Intrican, I forget the first name, from Etowah County, Alabama.
Yeah,
where,
bought like a $300,000 house.
$740,000 house.
Yeah,
and
240 down.
He did not steal the money. State law allows him to keep money that he doesn't spend out of the food budget, which... Basically, he's stealing the money, but it's legal plunder because, there's a statute that says that I can.
See, if I only feed the inmates 1,100 calories a day, then I can get that new house, and my wife can get that operation she needs. That I want her to get.
The guy that wound up going to the media, letting them know, hey, I think
who was mowing his lawn.
Yeah,
had checks that said,
I think this guy is taking
money for the prisoners.
He wound up being charged with some drug offenses, had no prior convictions of anything.
It's a good old boy system for you, buddy.
Anonymous tip. Cops go to his apartment and find just over 1 kilogram of cannabis laying on a coffee table or something.
No, it had been cooked into butter. The
one of the stories that I had heard was that only 14 grams of what he had was in the butter, and the rest was just laying there.
The reason he got a felony charge of trafficking or whatever is because they added the weight of the butter into
Of course they did. But he did wind up taking a plea. They dropped the felony trafficking charge, which, if you have the chance to know that a felony charge isn't going to be on your record, I'm not going to blame somebody for taking a plea. It's generally not a good idea to do so, but again, self-preservation is going to be more important than, I'm just going to take it to trial and I'm going to convince the jurors. No, you're not going to convince.
No, you're not.
The jurors. Continuing on with this article from HuffPo about prosecutorial misconduct.
Ken Anderson.
Multiple Supreme Court rulings over the years have sought to chip away at the unilateral power of prosecutors, requiring them to provide any and all evidence to the defense that might be favorable to the defendant. But this puts defense attorneys on the back foot as they're forced to blindly trust that prosecutors are actually turning over all of the evidence. Prosecutors can also cut deals with witnesses, co-conspirators, and defendants to compel someone to testify. They can pile on charges to produce sentences so excessively severe they take your breath away to strong-arm someone into taking a plea to reduce the sentence, as we saw with Patrick Qualt. I think his first name was Patrick, the guy that was cutting the grass of the sheriff who was taking the money. If prosecutors are unable to find someone to talk, they can always turn to a jailhouse snitch who might, and these are the exact words from HuffPo, they can always turn to a jailhouse snitch who might be able to coax out a damning bit of evidence from a jailed defendant. That testimony, obtained legally or otherwise, can often be used to lock down a conviction. And in the end, prosecutors are largely shielded from any liability that might result from their actions thanks to a Supreme Court ruling granting them, quote unquote, absolute immunity.
Well, what the really disturbing thing, if you go to Google, right, and just put in DA withholds evidence, you can just find story after story, and they're not like, it's not like one from 2009 and then one from 1990. No. I was like October 12th, 2017, California. June 1st, 2017, Rhode Island. November 8th, 2000. Like they're happening like weekly. Prosecutors in different states are getting caught up on charges for withholding evidence.
You have to expect it. That's why we should have free market courts, because you're asking the prosecutor in this case to do both jobs. He has to evaluate all the evidence he gets in the light of how it can be used to advance his cause, also how it can be used to advance the cause of his adversary, and he has to be given discretion to choose which evidence to give over and what is exculpatory and what isn't. And if you give him that decision, sometimes he's always going to err in his own benefit, and sometimes it's going to be egregious.
Here's a thought. Maybe the prosecutor should just be, instead of just deciding what benefits the defendant, what benefits me. All right, prosecutor, you have to give the defendant everything that you plan to introduce. That way they can ultimately wind up defending themselves properly.
How about what's the truth?
And speaking of what's the truth, let's look at the Ross Ulbricht conviction, to where the defense was prohibited from bringing up to the jury that there were corrupt federal agents working on the case. The prosecutor didn't even inform the defense of one of the people that was a corrupt agent working on the case. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Ross Ulbricht defense team requested more time to file a certain appeal because there was still things that they have not gotten from the prosecutor 3 years after the conviction. And the judge said, yeah, you're going on a witch hunt trying to wind up getting things that you should have been given 4 years ago. This is Free Talk Live. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts welcome. The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait
Now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now. In the final moments of Free Talk Live in studio tonight, it's Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
And let's go to the phones where we've got Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I just want to mention that the galactose molecule of the network marketing, it also helps to improve
kind of
mood.
sugar? Jesus.
Yeah, that's the good sugars from the vine-ripened fruit and vegetables.
So do we advertise
And-
pyramid schemes on Free Talk Live now?
Galactose
No,
is
she's not actually telling us the name of the pyramid scheme, but she calls in about this thing quite frequently. So, Sarah, do you have any new information on the galactose vine-ripened fruit and vegetable
I'm a complete
thing?
novice, and I would like to hear it from the beginning, please. Thank you very much,
No,
Daryl.
please only give new information, Sarah.
Well, I just want to also add that it helps our, like I said, our mood and our mental well-being. But, my speculation is that, this helps to allow more sugars that our brain needs. So it allows, so supposedly we're missing these saccharides on the outside of our cells. And that includes
I'm
our
glad
brain
you said
cells.
supposedly before stating that sentence. That way you're not in any way trying to make a medical claim because you are not a doctor or other medical professional.
Galactose is a polysaccharide, isn't it? Is a saccharide? I guess a saccharide. I guess a polysaccharide is a saccharide.
Okay, but it's only found in vine-ripened fruit and vegetables, and most of us stop eating like that unless you're so organic and so healthy that you have your own garden. There's a lot of people that grow their own garden.
You don't have to be like super organic or anything to grow your own garden. If you have the ability to pick up some wooden pallets and you have an outside deck in your apartment, you can grow a garden. You can have your own vine-ripened tomatoes. You can have your own fresh leafy greens. You can grow your own herbs. There's lots of stuff that you can do in a very small amount of space.
Also, if you get a spicy BLT 4 for $4 at Wendy's plus a Atlantic Cape Cod sandwich, then you're getting all the nutrients you need for life.
Sarah, thank you.
And a Dinovite. You got to add a Dinovite in there for a glossy coat.
That's for dogs. Do not eat. If you're a human, do not eat Dinovite. That's not even a real thing. But there have been studies that found that the closer to being removed from the vine vegetables are, the different, there's a slightly different taste, and there is some kind of.
So I mean, you're gonna be jogging to my house this spring to raid our vine-ripened fruits and vegetables.
I don't eat tomatoes.
Oh, we don't only grow
Daryl's
tomatoes.
on a strictly galactose-free diet.
So, all right. So, what fruits and veggies do you grow? And I'll tell you any of them that I might even possibly think of eating.
We're planning on doing cucumbers this year.
Yeah, they're disgusting. They taste like dirt.
Okay. Tomatoes.
I only eat them in the form of smoothie.
Okay.
Ketchup. I will use ketchup, which is basically a smoothie.
We're not from here, so I've still got quite a bit of research.
You ain't from here, are ye?
No, sir, we're not. I've got a little bit of research to do because I grew up and have farmed in two different zones, two different regions, farming regions.
Yep.
But none of them were New England. I've done the far south with Florida, and then I've done Region 6, which is East Tennessee. But I've never been all the way up here, so I'm not even sure what will grow up here in this short of a growing
luckily,
season
there's
y'all
a
have.
book called the Old Farmer's Almanac that's published not too terribly far from here.
I grew up on that thing, man. We have planted by the signs and the Old Farmer's Almanac since I was a little bitty boy. I have grown up with a copy of the Old Farmer's Almanac in the magazine rack in my house for 30-some years now. Literally my entire life. Even when I left home and I didn't have a farm, I still would buy it and read it. So I'm a nerd like that. But we are going to try to grow orca beans.
I have no clue what those are.
I'm
guessing that it's not related to the well.
They're little bitty peas that look like orcas.
Okay.
And then there's also, it's called it's called a scarlet runner bean, and it's a black and purple bean, but it's a green bean. When you dry the inside bean, it turns black and with purple splotches on it. But it's a good snap green bean, and they have these huge scarlet colored flowers, and they draw bees and they draw hummingbirds.
Okay.
So you get both, and butterflies. So you get the butterfly garden, bee garden effect, and some really good, really meaty green beans. But my worry is that because of how cold it is here, the soil's not going to hit 70 degrees in time for these to germinate.
Yeah, planting season would be June, and then harvest in August.
And see, I'm not sure that these will grow fast enough for that. They're a pretty long. They're like a 90-day kind of thing, and I'm not sure I'll be able to get a good harvest out of that. I'm just worried that I'm going to spend a lot of money on these really good heirloom seeds. And
with spring coming in 2 days, you need to get to reading the Farmer's Almanac a week ago.
We're nowhere near ready because it's last frost is what matters. And it doesn't matter. Last frost in Tennessee is usually 3 days before the 1st of April. Up here, it's going to have definitely, it's definitely going to be later. And you can't plant most of these things until after the last frost.
So let's change gears completely here and end on news of the weird. if you will, which is not something that we necessarily do on a regular basis here on Free Talk Live. But I saw this headline, and I knew we've got to talk about this. Story comes from the Libertarian Institute. It begins, despite a 63-year-old man presenting himself as alive and well before judges this week, a Romanian court has ruled that due to a technicality, he must remain legally deceased. In 1992, Constantin Reliu moved from Romania to Turkey, where he found work as a chef. According to local news reports, the last time he returned to his native country was 1999. This was also the last time he had contact with his family. In 1999, a devastating earthquake struck Turkey, killing nearly 17,000 people. Hearing nothing from her estranged husband for years, Reliu's wife assumed he had died in the quake. Wanting to remarry, she obtained a death certificate in 2016. In January, January of this year, Reliu was detained by Turkish authorities and deported back to Romania as having expired documents. That's when he first learned that he was legally dead. Seeking to regain his identity and return to his life in Turkey, he petitioned the city court to throw out the death certificate. However, judges rejected the petition, saying too much time had passed since the certificate had been issued. Apparently, that ruling is final and cannot be appealed. Now Constantin Reliu is stuck in legal limbo where he has lost the ability to earn a living and essentially do anything.
This is a triumph of the rule of law over the rule of reality.
He says, I am officially a dead man, although I'm alive. I have no income, and because I am listed as dead, I can't do anything.
He's not the first or only person this happened to, though. Like, this has happened to quite a few people. Sometimes victims of identity theft, and then the guy who stole your identity dies, and now you're dead. And then it takes some of these people years to come back to life, basically, legally, because they're legally dead. And they can't assume a different identity because that's illegal.
Right.
And they can't be who they are because, well, who they are is dead in a legal way. So, like, which begs the question, legally dead, but I'm physically alive? How does that happen? How does that work? How can I be
as Johnny
legally
said,
something?
it's when the rule of law trumps reality.
Also, you can find that kind of situation in the Necronomicon.
Well,
in
so
the what?
That means that I'm a legal entity, not a physical entity.
Yeah, basically.
I was just making a gag on it being like
zombie
form of undeath.
He's I guess technically Constantin Reliu is a zombie because he's not dead.
He's a vampire. He's the living dead.
Actual reality sense, but legally he is dead, but he's actually alive, so he's like the living dead.
I want to suck your blood.
Yeah.
Blah,
This
blah,
entire
blah.
thing is just really strange, and now Will's about to start counting things. As if we were on Sesame Street. I guess I can say that this episode of Free Talk Live has been brought to you by the letters F, T, and L, and that you can always find us online at freetalklive.com. It's been Daryl,
Johnny Ray,
and Will.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty.